Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
Well, that's right. Binford Tools is proud to present the Home Improvement Podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Jordan. Morning, Jordan.
Good morning. I feel at home here with you, and that's a good thing for this episode, you know?
Yes, it is. And you say that to me every time we talk. You say,
Adam, you are my home. Wherever Adam is, home is.
Yeah, it's a nice thing to hear, especially so early in the morning. Jordan, I feel at home with you, and this is Home and Podcast, and we are a home improvement podcast. So, man, there's a skateboarder going by, and he just did a pretty cool trick.
Ooh.
So
that's two straight episodes where we mentioned skateboarding, so that's pretty good for us.
Skateboarding? No, Jordan, it's things are going well for me. I don't remember if you asked. I'm a little frazzled from this skateboarding trick I just saw.
It's kind of like... Do you remember when that influencer was outside taking pictures?
I've seen her since then. Yeah, she does. Every once in a while, she'll just like stand outside across the street on the sidewalk and just like awkwardly sort of pose while her boyfriend takes a million photos with his Nikon camera, or maybe it's Nixon, whatever. But yeah, it's big city living, Jordan. You wanted to talk a little bit about that, didn't you?
Well, I did see an article that says "Suburbia's back, baby," and that's the title. Suburbia's back, baby.
Would you say that where you live is considered suburbia?
Yeah, I would absolutely say that. So, but I've kind of always lived in suburbia. I don't know if I've never not. So that's all I know at this point.
You fit the suburban mold. White picket fence, wife, kid.
It's funny, I've never had a white fence at all.
Not yet.
Not yet.
One in right now.
Give it time. Yeah. So that's me. You said you're the opposite now. So you're fighting against. Yeah, well, you're always one to buck the trend.
I find out what the stereotypes are and then I subvert them immediately.
Just like when poker was popular. What was the other thing?
Well, that was more calculated than moving to the city. I have not clicked on those LinkedIn articles. They usually get me because they do a good job with the titles, and they always make it sound really interesting. It'll be like 90% of millennials regret buying houses, and I'll be like, whoa, I got to read this, and then I'll click on it, and it'll be like, well, wasn't that interesting? All the interesting stuff was in the title. So
yeah, well, it's hard too because it's mostly they're not actual stories. They are actual stories, but usually when you click on them, it's just like here's the summary paragraph, and then here's a bunch of feeds of people reacting. So it's not as it's not like a long form article. There's not enough meat there.
True, and I know that this is something that our audience often asks us to talk about. So, no, Jordan, let's just generally talk about what's new with us. I'll start. Summerfest is going on in Milwaukee. It is billed as being the biggest music festival in the world. I guess I swear to God, they do. So, I went on Friday. It was my first time going.
Isn't that where Jet was? Jet Jurgens?
That's where Jet was. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I went yesterday too. I forgot. But first, let me talk about what I actually did, and then I'll make up a story about what I
didn't do.
Yeah. Saw The Lonely Island on Friday. It was pretty awesome show. They recently did the Bash Brothers thing on Netflix, where they're like parodying Jose Canseco and Mark McGuire. And while they were doing that, the real Jose Canseco came out on stage.
Oh.
So that was a real surprise for everybody.
I would say so. That's a surprise guess that no one was expecting. Were they expecting it is a real question.
Most of the audience was younger, so I don't think it really landed as well as they might have hoped. I think that there was some confusion when he came out on stage. But I was excited, and then T-Pain was also playing the same night, so he came over for On a Boat, and it was a heck of a show. I really
he came over on a boat?
He came over to sing. He came over to sing "I'm on a Boat."
Oh, well, I was kind of hoping it was both.
I didn't see how he got to the stage, but knowing T-Pain and his kind of lavish lifestyle, he may have taken a gondola over or something.
He's gonna buy you a drink.
But yeah, and I saw Jet yesterday. at 2 p.m. He was at the Miller Lite Pavilion, and man, I tell you what, standing room only. He looked great. He seemed really happy to be in Milwaukee. I know he posted a picture of himself under a suspension bridge, and he said, "Classic suspension bridge." So I don't know what that means.
Hashtag suspension, hashtag bridge.
He's going for a really niche audience of suspension bridge lovers with those tweets.
Well, you just gotta sometimes get the loyal fans and then build out from there. So it's kind of what we're doing with the Home Improvement podcast.
That's true, and you're big into SEO. So obviously, that suspension bridge stuff, content wise, is pretty big right now.
Millions of searches a month. So yeah, it's a smart ploy by him.
It's funny, this is what happens when we don't plan our intro.
Is it better or worse? I guess the audience will let us know.
Whatever.
Actually, they probably won't, but...
Nah, it's fine.
Well, that sounds pretty exciting, Adam. I'm glad you went to the biggest music festival in the whole world. That's incredible for you.
Yeah, and it's
right
fun.
in your backyard.
It was a good time. It's very close. Yeah, it was. It's important to the local economy. And, I don't live in the suburbs. I live in the city proper, so it's good to contribute,
Okay. Well, that's very interesting. I haven't been doing anything nearly as exciting. Basically, all of my free time has been painting and figuring out house stuff. But we're getting towards the very, very end. And we got carpet installation coming on. It'll be a week from today. And then we got a moving truck coming for all of our heavy stuff. So that'll be the next day. So I think within a week or so, we're going to be fully moved in there, and I'll be recording from a new space. So we're going to have to check out the acoustics in there.
Is it like do you have a basement studio you're putting in, or?
Basements are very rare in Florida.
That's true, it's Florida.
So there's basically Claremont is the only place I know of around here that has basements. It's very hilly and different over there. But
well, I thought maybe you bought this place because it had a basement, and that was kind of a selling point.
At this point, if you're buying a basement in Central Florida, where I'm at, it's a negative. So
hashtag basement boys.
Basement boys. No, I'm not going in the garage. I'm not converting the garage into a podcast studio. But we do have a fourth bedroom, which will be an office. And
where the Patreon money's going to your house. 4 bedrooms, man, what luxury.
Babies and podcasting, that's what that house is going to be full of. And I don't know. I mean, I might get some of those. Don't have this in my studio. I call it a studio. It's not that at all.
I love that you call it a studio. Keep going.
I'm fancy like that. I want to get some of those boards that go on the wall that kind of cancel the noise a little bit, so I can kind of put those in my office.
Yeah.
And I'll be sharing that office with my wife as well, so she might jump in on some of the podcasts. We'll see.
Boo! No girls allowed, right?
No girls allowed. No. Yeah, I don't think she'll be joining us. She doesn't listen. She doesn't like Home Improvement. No, everyone likes Home Improvement, so that's not true.
It's okay. We've been doing this a long time, so I think anybody that we know personally that listened in the beginning has dropped off. As far as I know.
I was gonna say your girlfriend used to post lots of stuff every week on Twitter.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Well, I think around year 3.5, year 4, she just kind of decided that she was out.
Melt away into the shadows like it never happened.
Yeah, but she was with us for a long time, so
she was. Kick tweets.
I don't think she does a lot on Twitter in general. I'm gonna go with that as an excuse. I just think she's not on Twitter much. So, but yeah, Jordan.
That was a fun little trip down memory lane, which is actually one of my alternative titles.
Wow. Well, that's one less you got to share later, but I guess we can get into it, Jordan. This week, what are we covering?
Episode 138, No Place Like Home, written by Elliot Schuenman and Marley Sims. They last did your favorite episode of the run, which was Future Shock.
Wait, For Whom the Bell Tolls? Or
no. The one where
I don't know if you know this
aged.
Or not, but I really did like For Whom the Bell Tolls. I like that episode.
We should just go back and watch that when we're feeling down and re-record it or something. I don't know. A second pass, maybe.
You mean digitally remaster? Yeah, that worked out when we did it with the pilot.
It would have if we didn't have audio problems again.
That's true, yeah. We're cursed.
All right. This one aired December 17th, 1996. And I don't think, I mean, No Place Like Home, obviously Wizard of Oz homage, but there's no other trivia or notes that I saw, so it's time to get into alternative titles, of which I just shared one of mine. A Trip Down Memory Lane.
Okay, A Trip Down Memory Lane. Yeah, it's a good title.
Thanks. What's yours?
Alright, I got 4 here. Let's start with... okay, I'll start with this one. Get off my lawn.
That's a good one. I don't know if you watched this on Netflix when it came out, but A Very Veggie Christmas.
Is that Veggie Tales?
No, there was like a Very Murray Christmas. Do you remember that Bill Murray thing?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it, but I know people that did.
I watched part of it.
Do you want to hear more about the people I know that did watch it?
Yeah, what did they say? Let's hear what Adam's friends that are critics say.
I didn't see it. I thought you were referencing Veggie Tales, which I used to have to watch at Bible school a lot.
Yeah.
Which is a weird thing. I don't know.
Veggie Tales, yeah. I don't know.
It weirds me out. I don't know. I don't like being spoon-fed something in a different form. You know, like, if you're going to give me, like, a religious cartoon, can you just give it to me? Do I have to have, like, apples and tomatoes
cucumbers
and stuff? Yeah, like you're not tricking me, okay?
But everybody loves a water buffalo.
Veggie Tales. And it brings back memories that are not especially good. All right, next one for me. This is a literary reference, Jordan.
I won't get it then.
House of the Fall of Taylor. It's referencing House of the Fall of Usher, an Edgar Allan Poe work.
Usher, like, yeah?
Raymond. Usher Raymond, yeah.
I was going to say. All right.
Usher from She's All That, the movie.
I wish. All right, my last one. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. 'Twas the Move Before Christmas.
Not bad. All right, my last 2. Reno Hate.
Okay.
And I thought you'd maybe get more of a kick out of that one. And the last one, Flushed with Memories.
I like that one better.
Thank you. Well, I guess, why am I thanking you? It's not,
Thank you.
I mean,
I'm disparaging one of yours, and I like the other one better. So.
Well, thanks. You're sweet.
All right. Well, let's get into this episode. We're going to open at Tool Time, and we're on location in the Taylor home. Tim and Al are chimney sweeps, and they've got kind of a strange outfit going on. They have like the grease monkey suit, overalls type of thing. And then they have like top hats and scarves and stuff. It's quite the dichotomy. And Al with his top hat has some tricks, and the audience really goes wild. I haven't heard them be this excited about anything since
Isaiah Thomas and the Corn, probably.
Probably, yeah. So they're loving this hat stuff, hat tricks.
Well, it's like it reminds me of our mutual friend, and you referenced him before we got on air, but Jared Stebbins. He used to, when he would dance at things, I don't know, I just kind of like to dance a lot. He would do similar kind of hat tricks with his off-white flat-billed caps, and this kind of reminded me of that, so. It's a lot of, like, Magic Mike stuff, sort of. That's kind of what he was. He was like Magic Mike.
Before adjacent. Magic Mike?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That movie is kind of a biography for him.
You said Wizard of Oz homage. That's sort of a Jared homage. So.
Perfect. I'll make sure that he hears this. I'm going to see him.
Cut this out. Send it to him.
I'm going to see him in 2 days, so I'll just tell him in person.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Al heads up to the roof, and the phone rings. And I don't know if you noticed this or not, but do you remember the guy who says, "I don't go that way," or something like that?
Yeah. Is he playing the sound guy?
He's playing the boom mic guy. So
classic.
That was nice to see him. Randy answers the telephone, and it's Grandma Lucy, and she's wondering when they're going to come up. They're setting up, a big move going on. Lucy's going to be moving closer to the rest of her family, and the Taylor clan is going to help move her. And Randy's just kind of stringing out this conversation, keeps interrupting his dad on live TV, and then Grandma pulls a trick over on her son and says, your fly's open, Tim, and he buys it. So, I don't know. Good joke, bad joke? Adam, weigh in.
Not for me.
Not for you. All right. Not for anybody,
little too juvenile. I like a more elevated humor.
Oh, that's why you're doing this podcast.
Yeah, I like elevated stuff. Like I like NPR kind of humor, stuff like that.
Click and clack.
Yeah, love that. Yeah. What was I gonna say? I guess I lost it. I don't know. How do you think Carmen knew how to do these tricks?
Good question. You think you practiced for a couple months knowing this episode was coming up?
In what do you think he did it for a play or something? Like, what context do you learn to do top hat tricks?
Well, it's a good question. We're gonna have to write it down for the next interview. You think I'm gonna know this?
You can do them. Yeah, you can do them. So I'm asking you what context.
This was part of my impressing the ladies at the bowling alley kind of repertoire. So
it was weird that you wore a top hat throughout all of high school. You kind of looked like the Babadook.
The only time, the funny thing is, the only time I wore a hat was when I was playing Monopoly. Do you remember that?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah. I do remember that. That was funny. All right, next scene. This is a fence scene. Do we want to play a clip here? Probably not. It's not that good.
Frankly, I hope we don't play any clips.
No, dude. In that case, we will... okay, we're not going to play a clip here because it's not that good. All right, Wilson. It's Christmas. Did we mention that?
We did now.
It's Christmas. Wilson is carving a nativity scene out of radishes. There is a Night of the Radishes. I believe it comes out of Mexico. I may be wrong.
No, you're right.
Oh, thank God. Tim reveals that he's got to go meet his family at his mom's because she's relocating. She's moving closer to Tim. Mentions his brother Jeff, who I don't know. There's always some ambiguity with the brothers because they kind of sloppily change names and stuff and add and take away brothers and sisters throughout the run of the show. But we're getting Jeff, and his kind of character trait is he's very frugal. We learn at the end of the scene that Wilson is from Chicago. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know if we've heard that before. I don't really have a lot else.
No, there's some weird childhood memories where it sounds like Wilson lived in a zoo, but then, like you said, he mentions he lives in
Lincoln
Chicago.
Park Zoo. Yeah. Shy City. Wilson and Kanye, two of the greats. Similar too.
Icons.
Two kind of. They're both into philosophy. So, yeah. Next scene, Jordan.
On the road, Tim is driving a big rig. This is a much bigger moving truck than I've ever seen, but. Tim's behind the wheel. He's driving too fast, according to Jill. And then Jill does the thing where she wants to tell, reminisce about a story that brought her heartbreak of moving 8 times. And Tim is sick of hearing it. And we're going to get this joke a few times in this episode. And I don't know. I thought it was okay. I don't know. I kind of liked Tim just kind of blowing her off here. Because she does this all the time, so and
seemingly,
then I like that they carry it throughout the episode. So it's a short one, and then we move into another car, and we have Marty, and he's driving the boys, and the boys are bummed. They don't want to be using their Christmas break to be moving their grandma because they're.
Who can blame them? That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great, but. Marty says, "What else would you be doing?" And they have lots of plans. They could be. Mark says he could be seeing movies. Randy would be going to parties, and Brad would be.
Yeah, right, Randy.
Brad would be. Brad would be hanging out with Angela.
For sure, yeah, that I believe.
Or working at Sports Universe.
Randy going to how do you get all this time off already? I guess being tight with Rob. Randy's going to soup kitchen parties or something.
So Marty's pretty jealous of their lives because apparently he's got a terrible one. Is he still with his wife and 2 daughters? Because
I don't know, but if he's still with his
at this point, he's awful if he's saying things like that.
That's true. Also, hey, I don't. What's his wife's name? Is it Nancy?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. He should be psyched to be with her, and
every moment.
Yeah, she's way out of his league, and I don't understand why he hates his life so much. But
and daughters are precious, and he should know better.
Yeah,
so,
he's got twin girls. Jordan. I mean, come on,
what a dummy.
That's a gift. But
at this point we shouldn't be shocked because we know the type of man that Marty is.
He's the kind of man that hides outside of a bar.
Goes back in for a stinky.
That was so weird. What a great way to introduce a character that you're going to spend 7 years with. Whatever.
Willow Larry. All right, back to Tim's truck. We go truck to truck to truck. Tim is chatting with some other trucks over the CB radio here, and he almost orders some hookers.
Yeah.
Did you get that? You like that?
I mean, it was just weird. I don't know. It was strange.
I think you could have gotten rid of this scene if you're getting rid of scenes.
In my opinion, you could have gotten rid of most scenes in this episode, but I'll save that for the very end. I was thinking about Jill moving 8 times throughout. Was it 8 times when she was young or 8 times throughout her life?
It doesn't matter.
Because I've moved more than 8 times, and I don't feel as though that's a lot.
Well, it was a different time, you know.
From a moving perspective, yeah, I guess you're right. You know what? That's a good. I'll kind of back out of this conversation.
Concede the point there.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just 8 times. I think I've probably moved 10, 12. Oh.
Yeah, my guess is she's talking about childhood,
Right.
like, you know, moving throughout school and stuff.
I've moved 4 times since this podcast started. So,
wow.
Eat your heart out, Jill.
different phase of life.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. All right, next scene. We are moving out of the house. Tim's getting sentimental about a lot of different things, and you kind of know where this is heading as soon as they go in there. You know, he's getting sentimental about banisters and toilets, and a lot of memories come flooding in. I still wish we knew where this house was. It kind of continues to bother me. I don't know why, but I do wish we knew. Brothers, we do see, is it, I guess it is Jeff? Is that who it is? Is that the frugal one?
Yes.
And this is the first time we've seen Jeff, correct?
I think so. I don't remember him.
I'm going to act like it is, and I'm going to give a bio. Jeff is played by Tom Sharp. He has 29 credits to his name in films like Body Heat, Spy Hard, Heartbreak. Have you seen Spy Hard with Leslie Nielsen?
No, but I would like to watch. We should do a Leslie Nielsen podcast next.
It's pretty good. And Heartbreak Ridge, he plays the MC, so obviously unforgettable. Last appeared in Teddy Bear's Picnic. He played James.
Oh my god. Quite the bio on that guy. Yeah, I don't recognize that bio, so this must be the first time that he's been on.
Okay, yeah, you would remember Spy Hard.
Well, obviously. I would remember Teddy Bear's Picnic. That was
that goes
kind of a favorite of mine.
He's cheap, so you're gonna get a lot of that throughout this episode.
Well, yeah, he tries to take the toilet. He tries to take the leftovers. I don't know what else he does, but it's real good.
Cheap jokes aren't funny, you know.
Not really.
Like, has that ever been funny?
I mean, we already get a lot of those with Benny, so this is...
That's true, yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's just like double dipping. I guess, like, cheap jokes probably, like, played well. Maybe, like, when, I don't know, Black and White, Lucille Ball kind of stuff. Maybe they thought that was funny then, but it's not working now. All right, babe, okay. Later. There's a lot of, like, later.
Yeah, a lot of laters.
So we'll just do our best. I know everybody is kind of following along with us, and how we go through the plot is very important in understanding things, so I'll be as clear as I can. They're moving stuff still. They find the original blueprints for the house.
Boy, do they.
And, everything's so friggin' sentimental in this episode. I don't know. And they're just talking. There's a lot of talk about the dad, whose name is Mike. Michael Taylor? Mike, I think?
Mike.
Big Mike. He's named the Stinky. Big Mike. They talk of sliding down the banister. A
lot of brotherly ribbing as well in this episode.
Yeah, sucks. Tim was the only one dumb enough to slide down frontwards, forwards, however you want to say it. Head first, whatever. And we jump to the next scene. I'm going to let you take the next one.
Tim does slide down the banister again. He wants to relive his glory days, but he's actually kind of just surprised because the doorbell rings and he ends up hitting his balls. Poor guy.
Oh, I loved it. Yeah. The only thing they missed out on was the next scene. He should have been holding an ice pack down there.
Oh,
that's like ball humor 101. You gotta have a scene where somebody's icing them down afterwards.
Pretty big mistake by Sims and Schuenman. Oh well. Yeah. All right. The new owners are at the door, and they want to take some measurements. They're going to do some remodeling. I don't know that this actually ever happens. It did not happen with my house purchase recently. I don't know that you'd go in there and interrupt the people who are moving. It seems very strange to me. But
yeah, it's a plot mechanism. I don't think it's very realistic either. You would have already done this, or you would wait.
Yep.
Did you recognize the woman in this scene?
Did not. Tell me about her.
Okay. So her name is Leslie Bibb, and she's married to Sam Rockwell, who you may or may not know, but she's been in a lot of stuff. She was like in The League for a long time. She's in Iron Man, Iron Man 2, Talladega Nights. She's like his wife in that.
Oh, yeah.
Hey Driver, Drive These. She 71 credits to her name. She's in a show called American Housewife. I guess Talladega Nights and Iron Man.
Yeah,
probably best known. In The League, people really like that show. But yeah, she would have been very young in this. I spotted her. The husband is Jim Peary, and he is best known for Penguins of Madagascar. Seen that one? Bet you have.
I have seen Madagascar, but not Penguins. Sorry.
Oh, shoot. Okay. He was in Now You See Me Too, a TV show called Victorious, and he played Sergey in an episode of Friends. This guy's busy. 120 credits to his name. Looks like he's kind of moved into like video game voice work.
Okay.
Maybe, which is something people do, I guess. And yeah, he's been doing it a long time. I got to get into that.
Pays the bills. I think we could do that. I mean, do you remember when we were acting out your script? I had multiple voices. I think I could do it.
I think you could do it. I don't know if I could. But yeah, Penguins of Madagascar. Gotta check that one out. He does a lot of voice work. He did the voice. He was on the voice cast for The Fault in Our Stars. Try to watch that one without a tissue box nearby.
I won't. There's a reason why I'm avoiding it, and It's not actually that.
But yeah, that's the couple. And like you said, they come in and they're pretty flippant about the whole thing.
Yeah, their thing is they want to take out all the old stuff. So all of the, It's
also funny because like everything that they want to get rid of is like the things that people want in a house now. They're like,
yes,
yeah, we're gonna cover all these shithole hardwood floors and put a carpet down. This classic looking banister,
let's get rid of it.
Make it steel. And it's just like really funny because like that stuff is pretty sought after these days.
When I was watching this part with Andrea, and I was like, yeah, I would want all these things to stay. So I don't know what these people are doing, but
they basically want to get rid of all the character.
Yep, get rid of the character.
House.
Give me crap. So
yeah.
All right. So yeah, Tim hates it. This makes him go off the deep end. He says, he's making fun of every suggestion as they go along, but then eventually just chases them out of the house, and they run out. And next scene, Tim is fixing the spindles as his mom comes down, and she asks about who was at the door. And Lucy doesn't seem nearly as attached as Tim does right now, and I think we get a little bit in a scene further down about why that is, but one thing I've noticed about this scene that I thought you would love is, did you see kind of the out of the ordinary overhead camera angle that they're doing here? Doing it from the top of the stairs?
I gotta confess, I didn't notice.
Oh, jeez. Well, it was certainly memorable. And we see Jeff come through this scene as well. He's taking the toilet we talked about. And Marty is also full of memories. They start talking about memories of the toilet, which is nasty. And Lucy says, put it back. So, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, a lot of toilet jokes.
Toilet humor.
Flushed with memories, you might say. Jordan, if I may take this time, I have a brief anecdote that is somewhat related to the episode and also sort of topical in my life. Do you mind if I share?
Well, you didn't clear this with me first, but I'll let you go on.
So, in this episode, Tim is kind of concerned that these people are going to come in and make all these changes to his house, and it's going to kind of lose all of the work that his dad put into the luster. So, somewhat recently, well, I'll start in the beginning. So,
how long is the story going to
be? 3 minutes if you don't interrupt me. All right, here we go. So, 2014, I moved from Davison, and my parents sell the house I grew up in. I was very sad. I liked the house. I wanted them to stay, but ultimately, what can you do? So they sold it, and over the course of like the next 4 years, basically like everybody's worst the worst thing that could happen to the house did. They put in a chain link fence, above ground pool. They didn't mow the lawn. People that were living there like had the cops called on them by the neighbors. It basically became like kind of a flop house. There was possible like drug use. It was a real like bona fide nightmare. So everything about the house I grew up in kind of it just looked bad. Bad things were happening there. Every time I'd come back to town, I would drive through and drive past, and it would just kind of bum me out. But recently, within the last week or so, they stopped making payments, and the place has been sort of evicted, and the house is back on the market.
Oh, are you going to go buy it?
Jordan, can I borrow $159,000?
Well, I just bought a house of my own, so I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah, so you're kind of in a spending mood. No, it's just kind of funny because I think the house was put up for sale within the last like 3 days again, which I'm ultimately happy about because
they didn't deserve that home.
It's been very difficult to watch that, and yeah, like I said, everything that could go wrong has, and that's a bad feeling. But they're like the photos they're using online to sell it are photos that my parents used to sell it.
I was gonna say it's probably in pretty bad shape based on the way that you described that couple.
I think so, but yeah. So Patreon.com home podcast, help me buy my childhood home back.
You know, that's funny because similar. You know, my parents ended up moving out of my childhood home. And it was kind of different. I mean, I don't know what they've done to the inside and whatnot, but a young family bought it, and I think that's kind of what you want.
Much better.
A couple of young girls living there and kind of renovating that and making new memories and whatnot. And so
well, hopefully this time around that will happen with my house.
I hope so. I hope so for your sake, because it sounds like it's really something that stops you from sleeping at night.
I'd be lying if I had said it hadn't bothered me over the last few years. But, it's not as sad as The Fault in Our Stars. And
it's pretty close.
With that, it is, 1A and 1B. But with that, we can get back in the episode. So,
all right. Later, Jill and Mark are packing in his own old room, his old room, Tim's old room.
Man, obviously that story really sort of disturbed you as well.
Yeah, very disturbing. But I guess, do you want me to take the next scene, or do you want to?
No, I think you should. I can't really talk anymore. I'm too upset.
All right. Well, later, Jill and Mark are packing in Tim's old room. They find a picture of hippie Tim, basically. He's got kind of the whole garb that you would expect. And Tim comes in, informs Jill of what this new couple's going to do to the house. And she, like a good wife, sympathizes with him and says, and she kind of consoles him here. She says, this house means a lot to you, but it's not the only memory of your dad. The stuff that he taught you, all that stuff, cars, some flatulence jokes, stuff like that. Those are all part of his legacy to you. And I think that helps Tim a little bit here. It's a nice scene. Flatulence aside,
properly supportive.
Yes. Yeah. So, short scene later at home. Lucy is checking out the blueprints which they found earlier. That's like the original blueprints of Tim's dad renovating the house. And Tim comes down to apologize for the way that he acted. And this is where they kind of rehash that conversation about the surprise that she's doing so well, where Tim's really struggling with the house and the changes and stuff. And she says, I've had many years to say goodbye. I've been, doing this for a while. Whereas Tim really hasn't thought about this at all until today. So
which is kind of weird.
Is it?
But Tim hasn't, maybe not for Tim, but I
think sometimes out of sight, out of mind. You don't have to reckon with something until it's right in front of your face. So
I reckon you're right.
I reckon you're right.
All right, Jordan, I'll take back over. They're reminiscing, and Jordan, we go into a flashback. I didn't see this flashback coming.
No way. Nope.
And, I hate to do this, Jordan, but I think we got to play a clip.
Hey, Tim? Tim!
Yeah, Dad?
I want to check your measurements for the carpeting for the stairs here.
You don't have to. I already cut it.
Oh, no.
Don't worry. I know what I'm doing.
tell you, you gotta measure twice and cut once. Plus, I didn't ask you to cut it, son.
Sorry. Guess I messed up again.
That's all right. Working with tools, it's not for everybody, and, well, when you grow up, you'll find something that's more suitable for you.
Michael, Tim, time to get ready for dinner.
I can smell the turkey burning.
Son, there is nothing like your mother's turkey. All dark meat.
All right, so it's a flashback because it's in black and white, Jordan. So they're subtly telling us that this is the old days. In it, you have a very young Tim and his father, and they are working on a project. And Tim he's bad with tools even back then. And kind of a funny line here. The dad says, some people just aren't going to be good with tools, and it's okay. You'll find something you're good at. I think he like measures carpeting incorrectly, and it's too short or something. But the dad is he's a little bit like Tim, and he's a nice guy, and that's about it.
Yeah, it really is about it. And they move back to present day after that. So
I'll do a bio on the dad. The dad's played by Todd Glass. He's actually gone on to have a pretty successful stand-up career. He's done like all of the shows, quite a few specials. Film credits, I think probably the most pertinent one is going to be the film Rebound with Martin Lawrence, where he plays referee Steve. So,
oh man, what a movie!
You have to have seen Rebound.
I've definitely seen that for sure. Yeah, that's Martin Lawrence.
Big Mac.
Yeah, that's the one. He's an NBA coach, right, or WNBA or something, and then he has to go back to like elementary school or something.
Yeah, I don't know where he starts, but I know where he finishes, and that's with those kids winning the city championship.
At the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a. I don't think it was nominated for any Oscars in 2005, but periphery. Yeah,
do you like that one better, or Black Knight, or Blue Streak?
That's really hard because I'll tell you which one I've seen the most.
Blue Streak.
Black Knight.
No way.
I've seen Black Knight a lot. Blue Streak is the best of the three. Like, Blue Streak is pretty close to being a decent movie. Maybe it even is.
I think it's a decent movie.
Yeah, I've seen Black Knight the most, so I don't know. Black Knight's so bad.
I can't believe that's the one that you've seen the most. That's unfortunate.
When he does Sly and the Family Stone, and he comes in, oh man, that's good stuff. I guess I got to say Blue Streak because it's the best one. But yeah, they're all. I mean, you can't go wrong when you're talking about those movies. What's
the one where he was it Big Mama or something?
Yeah. There's a lot of Big Mamas.
Oh my gosh. All right. Back to present day. Did we talk about this? She's happy to be moving closer to family, and Tim has an idea to have a last Christmas dinner on the floor. And I know you were sad because you didn't think you were going to get a Christmas episode, but here it is.
Yeah, they really do a good job to integrate Christmas into this one. Just beginning and end. Really, really effective.
Yeah, and so the last scene here is Christmas dinner. Everyone's eating off the floor by the fireplace. They do have a kind of a picnic mat
it
underneath
looks pleasant.
It. Yeah, it's pretty nice. They have a good ambiance. The lights are low. There's
the lights are a little too low.
They can't see their food, but you've got the fireplace roaring, and you've got the Christmas tree in the background, so they're going for that. And there's lots of food puns, and Jeff is going to take the leftovers. A lot of bad jokes here. Tim says he is like the house. He's a metaphor. He felt like they were ripping out his insides when they were ripping out its insides. I don't know. It's not a great metaphor. And Lucy caps it off by saying, "Take whatever you want from the house."
Yeah, how are the people buying it going to feel when the toilet's gone, though? That's kind of a problem.
Seems like a problem. As long as
they're putting in some stainless steel bidet or something,
I was gonna say they're gonna have one of those bidets, so they don't care.
Yeah. And that is roll credits fade to black. And what?
Well, did you see there was some like credits scenes? I don't know if they were supposed to be outtakes or just stuff that was cut, but Tim gets attacked by a raccoon.
I don't do that anymore. I don't watch those. That's where I draw the line. I thought there were bloopers.
I don't go that way.
I should have. Yeah, I thought there were bloopers, so I didn't watch. But Tim getting attacked by a raccoon. Is the episode better, worse, or the same with that? Probably better, I guess.
Yeah, because the raccoon, like, you know, it goes from being kind of like it looks like a real raccoon, and then it like jumps on him, and then it's not anymore. So, ooh,
speaks. That's Wild Hogs. Tim Allen he's coming to set the story.
You
straight
always
about
have
the
that.
raccoon.
You always have that in the background. You're always watching Wild Hogs.
That's a soundboard that whenever I like something you say, I hit the vroom button.
This is the first time it's ever happened.
Yeah, I've never liked anything. 139 episodes is the first time you said something I agree with. The raccoon talks, right? And it's Jay Leno's voice.
Yeah, can you go ahead?
Hey, Tim, sorry about your childhood home.
All right, Adam, a nickel for your thoughts.
Roll credits, fade to black, no place like home. I didn't like this one, Jordan.
I'm just going to come right out with it.
Yeah, I did not like this one. I don't like Tim's family to speak of.
Ouch.
Yay, sorry, savage. His mom, I don't know what. Maybe it's just the actress I'm not a big fan of. Because she also kind of brings me down in Boy Meets World when she marries Feeney. No disrespect to her personally, or maybe some. I never know. But I don't know. I just don't like his family. I don't like Marty. I don't like Jeff. Tim becomes petulant whenever he's kind of around his mom. I didn't think the jokes in this one were very good. It wasn't a Christmas episode, so I feel cheated, and that kind of bums me out because those are some of my favorites. I just didn't enjoy this one. Didn't work for me on any level.
Boom.
Highs. Mark going to the movies.
This is one of those episodes where I don't mind the A-plot. Like, I think it's a decent A-plot going back to the old home and doing that kind of thing. But there's really no B-plot to speak of. And maybe it would have been... So we get a lot of these scenes where it's like later on at home, the same kind of crap happens. Later on at home, same kind of crap happens. And maybe if you throw in, like, the boys get into some hijinks at this different location or in the house or, I don't know, something... maybe it's better because you don't have as much of the drawn out plot of the only real plot that's in the episode.
It's just a lot of, it's just like you said, it's just like a lot of like later on moving.
Yeah.
And then they're moving and then Tim is moving things and it's just, not great.
Yeah. So I think that would have been better. I like I said, I like the idea for the episode. There needs to be more here.
Well, they should have done like a Stranger Things kind of tie-in where like the Demogorgon shows up,
Never seen the show.
Well, comes up season 3 tomorrow. that Demogorgon's crazy.
All right, well, I might as well go back and watch. So, yeah, I guess not one of our favorites, but it's over now, so we can move on to Sean's social media corner. If you want to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com. We're at Twitter and Facebook at Home and Podcast. Support us by going to patreon.com/Home and Podcast, or subscribe to us on YouTube, or leave a review. Look at all the different ways you can support us. It's amazing.
Any new reviews, Jordan?
No new reviews. We're at 41 right now. So
What the crap?
What the poop? So, yeah, get on that, people. We need that. We need those reviews. They feed us. It's the only way we can survive. So, Adam...
Mm-hmm.
Anything new on Twitter?
Jordan, I posted a poll yesterday, and I'm very surprised by pleasantly surprised by the interactions here. So, it was a simple poll. Who is the less intelligent character on Home Improvement of the two? The options were Benny Baroni or a Big Mike Stinky. So who is less intelligent? 44 total votes. Shockingly on this one. Yeah.
People like either or situation, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it is simple. 89% said Benny Baroni is less intelligent than a Big Mike Stinky. 11% voted Big Mike Stinky. Did
Jim weigh in?
The At Home Improvement reunion, they were kind of trying to out me to Jim, trying to get me into some trouble, but he seemed to not respond to that, and he did tweet back and say that how much he enjoyed being in the last episode we covered.
He took the high road.
He did. He's a big Trump guy, so he's used to taking the high road, So
there you go.
Jordan says I'm not weighing in on that at all.
Stay away from politics.
I don't like that conversation. Otherwise, Ooh, what else we got here? Your that Matchbox that I got you for Christmas. Somebody else tweeted a picture of that, and they've taken the Al Borland character and like super glued it to their dashboard in their car. So I think you should do something similar. I know you're trying to sell your car to randos, but before you do that, maybe do.
Well, now I'm keeping my car because it's already parked at the new house. So,
Wow,
what
yeah.
a roller coaster. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of the home improvement stuff you got me. No offense, but I don't know if it should make it in the move.
Offense taken. Major offense taken.
I think maybe we've got a home improvement giveaway coming up.
Hey, come on. Jeez, man. Savage. Come on. You have 4 rooms to fill up.
And none of them need to have anything home improvement related.
You can have a whole home improvement themed room if you want. And if you don't, you're doing something wrong. I use my coaster you got me every single day. So
Oh
you
man.
might as well know that. And I've drawn on it a little bit. But
What?
It's the I Don't Think So Tim coaster.
Yeah?
With Richard Karn, and I added some eyes and a nose because it didn't have any. So I'll take a picture. Sure, why not? That's content.
Why not? Yeah.
If I find out you got rid of the stuff I got you, then you're going to be in serious trouble. So just know that. And I know you don't like getting in trouble. So.
I am a rule follower, but you know what? This is a rule I might break.
Wait a minute, man. Come on. All right. Well, I can't control you. So you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
All right.
Yeah. So social media, good stuff as always. Follow us at Home Podcast.
Get us to 700 followers.
Yes. Good reminder, Jordan. If we get 700 followers by tomorrow, which when you hear this will be
July
11th, we will
Send you a home improvement match.
Hey, I said cut it out. I said stop. Jordan will name his next child after you if you're the 700th follower.
I'll name
Deal?
my guest bedroom after you, and Adam one day will sleep there.
Not with the way things are heading with this Matchbox thing.
I don't know.
Right.
I have a conservation lot. I bet you'd like that.
What's a conservation lot?
Behind us, there's just conservation. Nobody's gonna build back there, and I think you'd like the view.
Man. Is there feral cats?
Not yet. I've heard there's
Until I bring them.
I've heard there's raccoons back there though.
Ooh,
My
yeah.
neighbor Ralph, he said there's raccoons that get into the trash cans every once in a while.
What's your neighbor Ralph like? Is he old or young?
He's probably getting close to 70, I would say.
Oh, man.
He's an
he
OG.
gonna
He's been there since they built those places back in 2006.
Is he gonna be is he meddling? Is he gonna meddle?
No, seems like a really nice guy.
Okay, all right. Potential listener of the podcast?
Potential co-host.
Wait, for me or for you?
Both. We're gonna have a
third,
trio.
yeah. I've been thinking it's so easy for us to schedule things, just the two of us, that adding a third could really only.
Well, I just have to walk
improve.
next door,
That okay?
and
yeah,
he's
that would be cool.
retired, so I think
Well, he do Serial, so he already has a studio built in.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, let's stop. Okay, all right.
all right.
Nobody wants this. What do we got next?
Do you have a question of the week?
Jordan, in absence of a good question, I'm just going to ask you, movies, TV shows, books. What have you been taking in lately?
Actually, a couple different things. Andrea and I are rewatching The Office.
Okay.
So we are right when they merged the Stamford and Scranton branches. So
That's as good as it gets.
and it's
right there.
good because Andrea doesn't really remember this stuff as much. So that's kind of fun for her to relive that. I went back and I started. I wanted to read something a little bit different, which no doubt you will hate, but I started reading the original Spider-Man comics from the 60s.
Hey, Spider-Man.
So
Me, Willem Dafoe.
yeah, I'm in probably like the 20th one right now. They're free on my Kindle from the library. Otherwise, I would definitely not do it. So that's interesting. It's funny to read something that was like a 60s comic because it's got like, I don't know.
Racism.
No, not really. It's just like really funny lingo and
Yeah.
stuff. So So yeah, doing that. Other than that, I haven't seen a movie in a while. I do want to see the new Spider-Man that just came out, but haven't done that yet. And I would like to see Toy Story 4 as well, but that's going out is a lot harder than just like staying in and watching something on Netflix. So I think we did watch Murder Mystery, the new Adam Sandler.
Yeah, I did too. What'd you think?
It was pretty good. I mean, I didn't have high expectations. So if you went into that with high expectations, you're probably dumb.
Yeah, I'd give it like a 5.5 out of 10, probably.
I would say watchable. That's what I would put it in.
Yeah,
there.
watchable. Good premise, maybe a little long in the tooth. Jordan, right now, I'll be quick. I am reading a book called How I Became a Famous Novelist. It's supposed to be very funny. I'm only on page 5 or something, so I don't know yet, but it's supposed to be a good one. I'm going to see a movie tonight called Midsummer. It's by the same director that did Hereditary. It's supposed to be very scary and disturbing. It's also 2.5 hours long, so I hope it's not too scary or disturbing because it's long.
you might die.
I'll report back. Yeah, this could be it. So don't sell that Matchbox car because you'll feel bad. Television-wise, we have been rewatching Parks and Rec. So kind of similar. I like The Office a lot more than Parks and Rec, as I've gone on the record in saying, but it's fun to watch. We skipped the first season because I didn't think I needed to bother with that, so we started with the second season and just kind of going through. Other than that, Big Little Lies, HBO show, came back for a second season. I think it's total trash, and I really like the first season, so I've been a little disappointed in that. Yeah, that's about it. So,
wow.
What are we covering next week?
Next week, we're covering The Flirting Game.
Oh no! Oh golly, man! I know you're not bleeping curses anymore, so I might take advantage of that next week. We'll see.
We'll see. All right,
Jordan,
Adam, take us out.
Thank you for joining me, listeners. Thank you for listening, and I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.